Good morning, everybody, and welcome from Del Mar Hilton Hotel across the street from Del Mar, California. Pacific Classic Day today. Going to be a fun one today. Full cards, 11 races in all. We've got some stakes races, not just the Pacific Classic, but we've got some others as well. We'll talk about that. And a special guest today on the show. We'll be here in about 30 minutes from now. Peter Thomas Fornatail, host of the In the Money podcast. Covers USA Racing, Great Britain, and Ireland for Sky Sports Racing. Peter's written many books. We'll talk to Peter not only about the Pick Six, the Pacific Classic, mandatory payout today in that Pick Six, by the way. Probably going to be $10 million in that thing. It's going to be huge today. Going to get involved. We'll cover that. We'll talk to Peter about tournament playing because he's written books on that, the winning contest player. So hello to everybody. Taiwan, Mike, and CP Jr., Mike Lee, Angela in the house. Always good to see Angela. Going to be a good day. Kevin, you guys ready? Big. The energy here at the hotel is just insane. It's so good. Going to be a lot of fun. Brady, my man, thanks for covering me the other day too. You're the best. And Brady and I are going to try to take down this tournament. So Brady, you're not going to want to miss it. I tell you what, Peter Thomas Fornatail has been covering tournament play for a long, long time, and I'm sure he'll have some really good advice for us. So it's going to be a lot of fun. What's up, everybody? Wow, look at you guys. You guys are all perky this morning. Deb Martin in the house, John, Oscar. There's Randy. Randy, I was hoping it was going to say the 5 horse is going to win for fun, but I ran the mock race for this first race here at Del Mar, and it had the 3 horse Mirasol winning fairly easily. I was also surprised to see Ain't Easy, the 2 horse, the simulated race, like this too. I mean, the workouts are really good for Phil Diamato and Rosario, so watch out for that. And Randy is, part of the my horse race group, and they like this horse, but I was thinking maybe this horse might be better longer. We'll see. Not in the top 2, Scotty. But I'm always rooting for my friend Randy in the My Racehorse group. So Daniel in the house. There's Tony, Doug. You guys are ready to go. I can feel you guys this morning. It's going to be good. Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, he's going to be on. We're going to have Peter on in just about 30 minutes from now. Good morning, my man Oldie. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Ready to crush the Pick Six. Right on, Russ. Good to have you again. But, yeah, the energy here has been just incredible. And hopefully you guys have been liking these podcasts. Not the podcast, but the simulcasts with John Lees. I've been enjoying the heck out of it. And John is a lot of fun. Really good guy. Yeah, Randy was saying that they really like the 7 horse. I thought the 7 might be better going longer as well. Also, this horse is really dead on the board right now, but it is early. We'll see. It's really early. So, Luis, good morning. Aaron in the house. Steven, it's gonna be a good one. You're not gonna want to miss it. Like I said, Peter Fornatail, host of the In the Money podcast. He's also the founder of the In the Money Media Network. Right? I think they have like 7 or 8 shows with big time people in horse racing as well. Covers the USA Racing for Great Britain and also Ireland. And he does that for Sky Sports Racing. And Peter's written a lot of books as well. And the most famous one is The Winning Contest Player. And God knows me and Brady need that as well. Thank you so much, Jeff. Yeah, I was on the In the Money podcast yesterday going over the Pick Six mandatory payouts. So if you didn't know, today's a really big day. We'll go over it. There's stakes races today, but of course the Pacific Classic, the biggest race of the year at Del Mar here in this summer meet. There's also a mandatory payout in this Pick Six. It's a 20-cent denomination, and there's going to be probably anywhere from $8 to $12 million, I would guess, in this Pick Six. So going to be a lot of fun. Good morning, Jay, Martine, Colin in the house, Pat. I want you guys to bring it today. We've got Saratoga coming up in 30 minutes. Well, you know what? I don't know if it's going to be tough to maybe cover some of this stuff, but we'll try. I'll try to run the simulated race. You guys are seeing this. The simulated race has just been insane. Had that 3 horse on Thursday. Did you see that pick 5. Also, the late pick 5 paid like $48,000. It was just crazy. And yesterday was a lot of fun. Not a lot of people at Del Mar, but today is going to be nuts. They're probably saving it for today. Lawrence in the house. I know. We're going to try. We're going to try, Tony, but because we don't have a lot of time. Races start at 2 o'clock. We've got the simulcast at 1 o'clock. We're going to have Peter on talking about the pick 6 at Del Mar. So we're gonna try. But I tell you what, I've been testing this simulated race. Many of you have seen it a few times. I kind of like sneak it in there once in a while, but not supposed to because we're patent pending right now on the simulated race. So, but I'm very happy with it. I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to have a simulated race. I wasn't, because John had given me like 4 different versions and I shut them down, and finally gave me an algorithm that I'm like, wow, this thing is really, really good. So enjoying that. You once you use it, you just have to know. You can't play without it. So I'm not even going to tease you guys with that thing yet and show it to you because I know you're going to want it. I know how you guys are. I understand. I'm a horse player like you guys. So I think that's probably, I remember when we first started EquinEdge and John was saying, I'm like, we need this. And John's like, Scott, not everybody's going to like what you like. And I'm like, no, I think they're going to like what I like. How are you guys liking what we've built so far? Right? Simple, easy metrics. The GSR is the best tool in horse racing right here. This one, from 1 to 100, 3 generations back, it goes best metric in horse racing, bar none. Like to see, and people can bring a breeding metric all they want there and tell me that there is a better number than the GSR. I have not seen it. And there's more coming with the GSR. We're building around the GSR Plus right here. You can sort, and you can see clearly this horse, Mirasol, is better on dirt. And looks like this horse really more wants to probably like sprinting, probably maybe 5.5 is, I'm not gonna say it's not short, but 6 furlongs, 74 from 1 to 100. So nice breeding on this 2-year-old filly by Arrowgate. So tools are just gonna get better and better. Pimlico race number 1's coming up. We're not going to be able to cover that though, but yeah, there will, Jeff. There will be a tutorial. Yeah, no, we're going to have a tutorial on that. It's going to be really good. Thank you. Thanks for saying that, Aaron, too. Like, we've actually had a couple of issues this week, and it was the data that was coming in that our system was grabbing onto was corrupt, unfortunately, and so it created some issues. So sorry about that. Oh man, Jay, it's always good to have you aboard. And what do you mean probably, Aaron? Thank you so much, Vern. We really appreciate that. Kent, good morning. No, the love you guys give us and everything, it like pushes us to keep on moving forward. This has been a really tough project. You don't even know. This has been 15 years in the making, and since we started this project, it's been 4 years. And it's really tough because the programming takes so long to make a product, right? So it's very intense. And then if you make one move over here, it affects 10 other things. So there's a lot of moving parts to this site. You guys have no idea. Thank you, Tony, very much. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. My man, Andrew. Andrew, why have you not come over and said hello? You're here at Del Mar. I see all these tweets, and you're like one of my favorite people on Twitter, and you haven't come over and said hello to me. Do you see me on the simulcast? Are you getting there early, or did you get there late? I'm gonna be on the set with John Lees. I don't know if you know where it's at, but right there, just above where the TVG set is. So by the way, too, please like the show. Okay, the likes have been a little bit low, and I just think people don't think about it. I know, but please think about it and please like the show if you don't mind. All right, you better stop by and say hello. Okay. There's Jeff. What's up, Jeff? Luis, I did not know that. Oh, that's awesome. You know, a lot of the early birds, by the way, too, as we like launch things, the early birds they're all part of that. They never are going to pay more for being with us from the very beginning. That was the promise that we made. My man, Tyler, dude, where have you? Look at you guys. You guys are pumped about today, aren't you? Cindy's in the house. Anytime we've got Cindy in the house and Deb Martin in the house, it's always a good day. I miss you, Tyler. I hope you're well, brother. Haven't seen you in a while. Are you gonna be out at the track today? God, it's just the intensity level here at Del Mar is just incredible. It really is. Pumped and ready to go. James, what up? Vacationing in Denver. Bill, what's going on? Checking in from Michigan. Just taking the top 2 GSRs. Yeah, the GSRs, it's sick. I'm just a fan, seriously. All I want a handicap. That's what I am. I'm a handicapper. When I started on TVG, I'm a handicapper. I just want a handicap. That's it. That's just, if you saw the show with me and Jose, you knew we had that dialogue back and forth on the quarters. You're going to drive down? All right, you better make sure you come over and hang out with us. We're going to have a group of people down there. It's going to be a blast. If you're going to be down in Del Mar, come over and say hello. Come to the set. I hang out there. I'm going to hang out there the entire day today. Going to be a lot of fun. I hit that big 6 yesterday. What did I pay? $200. My ticket that I played was bigger than that. But today is going to be a lot bigger than that. And I kind of knew that the card was chalky yesterday. So, okay, we're going to do an overview. We always do an overview of the races just to see how we did. And I do this because, one, I want to learn from things. And two, I want to have confidence. I want you guys to have confidence in the system, knowing that it's never cold and it's going to have the races it wins and it's going to have the races it loses. But if you bet accordingly and you're consistent, then you're going to win. Okay, so you can't be zigging and zagging like I did for the first year of this. And I've gotten better with this. So we'll see what I gave, see how I did. So in the first race, I gave out 3-2-1. It came out 2-3-1. And I really liked first premium. I was this WW. I knew the horse would run, but I thought for sure this top GSR horse would not be able to, off this long layoff. I thought this horse would peter out, and it didn't. Flavian Pratt takes it gate to wire. The Scotty Longshot came up third. But see, I bet bad. I didn't. I hammered 3-2-1. You don't even know if the 3 beats the 2. My summer was made. Ugh. And what did I do? I don't back it up. By the way, too, there's a big tournament, $5,000 entry over at Del Mar today. So I've got 1 entry. Normally I do 2, but I'm just going to do 1 today because, the last tournament at Del Mar, I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was in second place for a long time, and then I just petered out. But and don't forget, by the way, Peter. Speaking of Peters, Peter Thomas Fornatail is going to be with us here in about 15 minutes from now. We're going to talk about the Pick 6. We'll go over that. He also is the creator of the In the Money Players podcast and founder of the In the Money Media Network. So you don't want to miss Peter. He also covers USA Racing in Great Britain and Ireland for Sky Sports Racing. And we're going to talk to Peter about The Winning Contest Player, a book that he wrote. He's written many books, but that's his most famous book, and about tournaments and how to win these tournaments. I need to know, because I won the Pegasus tournament in January, which is a cash tournament. This is a mythical tournament, way different in Vegas than the NHC here. And so maybe Peter can give me and Brady some tips. So because I won the tournament in January, which I'm good at the cash tournaments, not so much the mythical, but I get $1 million bonus. The winner gets like 800,000. I think there's about 400 players this year. So gonna be a lot of fun. I will say this: I have more tools, and it's your birthday. All right, Norm, happy birthday. Yeah. No, it's a Tracky hotel. You know what I mean? It's a nice hotel, and it's good. It's right across the street. It's very convenient. I always walk across the street. I like to get my steps in. I walked this morning around the track, went all the way from the hotel all the way around, and you get different views of Del Mar. Oh my God, so beautiful. And the water, there's a dog beach down there, Del Mar Dog Beach, and then you go into down downtown Del Mar in there, and all the restaurants, and you got the L'Auberge Hotel down there, and Jake's on the Beach is a great restaurant. Run the mock race for race 8. Yes. All right, let's do that. I'm sorry for those of you that don't know, I can't show the mock race yet, and I'm still testing. It's looking fabulous. So, but you're going to have to wait for that, and I don't know how long it's going to take. We'll see. There's a lot of work that goes into it, not just the testing. Okay, Del Mar race number 8. Where is it? Oh, there it is. What are you hoping to see, Oldie? Let's see. Wow, it's a wall of them. It really is a wall of them. The 2 shows winning the race. The 8 is second, finishing the best. And the 1's right there, and so is the 6. So 2, 8, 1, 6. 2, 8, 1, 6, race number 8. All right. We haven't heard from Gary yet. I sure hope he's okay. Been praying for him. I know. I'm probably gonna. If I have time, I'm gonna shave today. Yeah. All right. Race 2. You want to? Yeah. Well, there's 2 things you want to invest in. You want to invest in. You know what we might do? We're talking about it. We might take investments. I don't know, because I think it would create an energy. Kind of like the My Horse Player group, kind of like My Racehorse group. But you want to invest in not only the simulated race, but when we go foreign races. So we're looking at that very heavily right now in offering. Imagine being able to play Australia or Hong Kong or any of those tracks worldwide, and it's the same user interface and the same handicapping, so you don't have to learn anything different, and you can handicap and play races 24 hours a day all over the world. That's the one. And not too long future, we'll have the site in Spanish as well. So it's going to be great. I've run the, yeah, I'm going to. That's the plan, Aaron. We're going to run the mock race for that as well. Cindy likes the 8 in that race. Yeah, he's calling. Okay. All right. Share screen. Okay. Yeah, the foreign races. That's the most exciting thing, because that's gonna be tremendous value. Okay, race number 2. I gave out the 1. You cannot. I didn't do a paddock pick. No, you guys don't even. My paddock picks weren't good the last time I did it, and so I kind of petered out a little bit. But this 1 looked like $1 million. I mean, yeah. Let's put it this way. I bet this horse hard. It was 3 to 5. I didn't care. The 6 ran huge, and the Scotty picks had it cold 1-6. And this horse looks so damn good. I put a note on here. This horse is really nice looking. It was just like, it looked like a tank. So here's the thing, Oldie. I'm going to disagree with you on this one, and I'll tell you why. Jason, good morning. This is why, Oldie. The old algorithm win percentages would use the morning line odds maker. The morning line odds maker is not more accurate. And so all you saw was a few high win percentages. So what's happening right now is there's plenty of high win percentages. Look, I'm going to show you. Look at these. There's 32 pages here of them, 60%, 55%. Right? Look at this. There's plenty of them. Here's the thing. You know what I do? When the system tells me And you'll watch it. I want you to do this, Oldie. Watch when the win percentages are really close. Okay. When they're like that, you're going to see that these races are wide open. So you have to look at the other metrics. So I'm still utilizing those win percentages. I don't need it to tell me a horse is 50%. You know what I mean? Good morning, Mick. I'm telling you, you don't want it. I promise you. You just have to get used to it. I'm used to it already. It's showing me that when the race is wide open, that information is just as valuable. Yeah, thank you, Jay. It is hands down. No comparison. No comparison. I promise you. So Peter is going to be on in about 4 minutes from now. And what race is this? We want to look at Del Mar. Where's Arklow? Which race is Arklow in? Do you guys know? Good morning, Vito. Thank you, Nick. Hey, Frank, what's up? Which race is Arklow in? You guys know? A friend of mine is asking me right now about Arklow. Says the system is trying to single it. Race 11? Oh, that's right. That's the closer. Yeah. Let's see here. $48. It's singling. Yeah. It's really been neat down here. I've been meeting a lot of horse racing people down here, and so many people now are using the system and they're sharing it. It's been really, really neat. Yeah, the system is singling Arklow, and I think I had my coffee this morning. I went for a walk and I had my coffee this morning. So we ran the numbers, okay, Oldie. We ran the win percentage numbers, and they might not appear that because there's a lot of even races, but the old ones are not good, Oldie. I'm telling you, I disagree with you. Not a surprise you and I disagree on this one. They aren't. They're leading you towards favorites. And this is showing you, and by the way, too, I already ran the numbers. I can tell you the exact numbers. So you're in a place where you're looking at this from an emotional standpoint, not from a logical, in the sense of this. I ran the numbers, and these numbers are 1% lower than the old ones. 1%. I will give up that 1% to have it be more accurate, and not lead me towards favorites. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. You can count on that. Hey, Charlie. Good morning. I got to shave today. Yeah, big day today. I got to shave. So that's a good point too. And they're higher in ROI, 100%. They're higher in ROI. Look, I just want to show you that I'm telling the truth. I'm going to just show this real quick so you guys can get the gist of it. I've got the stats right here. Okay. I can tell you GSR. I can show you all that stuff right there. Boom. Okay. So I'm looking at the stats and I'm just telling you, oops, I'm going to all the wrong pages. See, but I test constantly. The thing about it is the win percentages are so even on that race. If Arklow wins, I don't think it's going to be by much. I'm choosing the 4-horse and the 5-horse, United, as well as Master of Foxhounds. But I'm going to include Arklow for sure. No, those are my picks, Austin. Those are my picks. Are 1, 2, 3, 9, and race number 8. That's race number 8. The mock race, yeah, no, they don't agree. Okay, so yeah, so we do have people that we have to explain some of that too, and it makes sense. So the simulated race is an algorithm, just like the GSR is an algorithm, right? And then the win percentages are an algorithm. The EE morning line is an algorithm. The Scotty picks are an algorithm. Scotty long shot picks are an algorithm. The SOR is an algorithm. So they're all separate, and they don't look at the same thing. They look at all different things. So yesterday I gave out the 10 horses my best bet, a first-time starter. And that horse won for fun, right? So you have to make a decision. That's why this is subjective handicapping, and why this is so important that everybody makes their own call. Okay, you got Saratoga race number 1 coming up. So, and all right. All right, you guys. What's up, Peter?
I'm doing great, man. We're right here. The horses are walking by for the first race at Saratoga. I'll see if I can show you guys a horse or two.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, you can see them walking back there behind me. We just got to get some of the boys out of the way. But yeah, we're in a beautiful spot here at the Paddock Bar. This is a Saratoga water bottle, but I've refilled it with cold brew coffee. So I'm getting into the spirit of things. And it's fantastic to be here with you. What a day we've got. Alabama Day, Pacific Classic Day, and then we got the Queen's Plate tomorrow, really one of the more exciting weekends of racing of the entire summer. So I thank you for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Good to be here. So a lot of, obviously, people in horse racing know who you are, but if you don't know, Peter's the host of the In the Money Players podcast, founder of the In the Money Media Network. You cover racing as well from USA Racing, anyways, from Great Britain and Ireland for Sky Sports Racing. Where do you do that at?
I actually have a little home office when I'm in my Brooklyn studio. We call it the Brooklyn Bunker. Up here, we have a finished garage, which I've turned into a bit of a recording studio, but we affectionately call it the Degenerate Flophouse in honor of the various horse players who end up sleeping in that place throughout the course of the summer. But
right.
Have microphone, will travel, and it's great to be doing the show live from Saratoga today.
Well, I know. Well, it's not going to be the same though, because you're not going to be here for the NHC, and like this is what you do. You're the author of several books, especially the Winning Contest Player. So I know a lot of us want to pick your brain on that. I know we're going to cover the Pick 6 over here at Del Mar. Also, mandatory payout today. It's going to be anywhere from $8 million to $12 million in this pool. So we're going to talk to you about that. Also, I need all the help I can get in the mythical, tournament play. So talk about the Winning Contest Player in that book, and because it's had a lot of success.
It was really a great pleasure to work on. I got to meet so many terrific people and sharp players, and my game definitely improved for having worked on it. The book came about because many years ago, I did a book for the Daily Racing Form Press called 6 Secrets of Successful Bettors, where I interviewed professional horse players. And then, almost 10 years ago now, Stephen Christ and Mandy Menger from the Forum came to me and said, hey, we want to do kind of a sequel to that book, but we want it to be specifically about contests where you interview the successful contest players and try to distill their wisdom to help people get more comfortable playing in contests, whatever format they choose, whether it's the mythical or the live bankroll. And I pitched back to them like, yes, I want to do that book, but we should also turn it into a blog of sorts and really cover the contest scene. So I did that for years in the pages of Daily Racing Form, and that's where I started going out to the NHC every year. I will miss it this year. I can't leave Saratoga on Travers Weekend. That's just not going to happen. But I really look forward to going to the next NHC, and the good news is that'll just be in a few months' time. But I've got a lot of positive feedback about the winning contest player. I think it's definitely helped a lot of people along the way in their contest journeys. And I don't feel like I'm bragging when I say that. It's all reflected glory on the fantastic people I interviewed for the book. Players like Duke Matisse and Paul Sherman leap to mind as guys who are sharing their theories behind playing contests and have definitely given a lot of newer players a leg up. And I'm very gratified. You know, the first year I went out there, the book hadn't even come out yet. And now I go there and see people at the final table who say, hey, your book helped me get to this spot at the final table at the NHC. And that's the best compliment an author could hope for.
So I won the Pegasus tournament, but that was a cash tournament. I'm good in the cash tournaments. I feel comfortable. But what's the difference in the mythical, the format in the NHC where you've got the $2 to win in place? Is there, if you could break it down in like a short strategy, what would it be?
I think a lot of it's going to depend on your betting personality. But the first thing that comes to mind about the mythical tournaments where you can't vary your bankroll from race to race is you need the ability to find long shots. You can win the Breeders' Cup betting challenge, never betting on a horse that's longer than 2-1 or 3-1. Whereas I feel like you can win the NHC, never playing a horse that's, shorter than 8-1. So I think finding a way, and EquinEdge is a great tool to do this, to develop that muscle memory, to find the live long shots. And then, you have less control in the mythical money tournaments in a lot of ways. You've got to pick the right horses and hope that it's your day and hope that they're going to run for you. Whereas I think you can do a lot more in terms of game theory and strategy when it comes to live bankroll, because you can potentially pick one or two spots to push all your money in. You have no such luxury in the mythical world. So I think it tests your ability as a horse player to find long shots over the course of a long period of time. And that's a club I know you have in your bag too. I think you just have to think a little bit differently and outside the box and try to come up with the right horses and hope it's your day.
So let me ask you a question, Peter. So let's just say you're coming up to a race and the horse is 3-1. You really like the horse, and the horse is 3-1. Are you playing that horse? Is that a horse you're gonna put the $2 to win in place on?
There are contest players who will tell you that you should never play a horse under whatever arbitrary number, 4, 5, 6-1. For me, if that's a 3-1 horse that I think is like an even money shot, so in other words, like incredible value relative to the field, I will play that horse, because here's the other thing about mythical money play. It still is its own ecosystem of value. And what I mean by that is you still are in a position where if you're picking up points that other players aren't picking up, you can get a differential advantage. Now, you're not going to be able to do it all with 3-1 shots. But if you have a couple of shorter prices that you can use as a linchpin and bank those points and then find the long shot later, hey, you're going to be whatever, $12, $10 over the person who just came up with that long shot and was stabbing in the race where the 3-1 shot ran and performed like a certainty. So I'm a little contrarian, and I will do that. But I guarantee you there are players out there shaking their head when they hear me saying this, saying, no, that's wrong. Those points won't hurt you. You're supposed to try to find the 15-1. But the way my handicapping personality works is I'm just not going to find enough 15-1 shots. I'm a believer in the Paul Sherman theory of trying to play who you like as much as possible. And that may well lead to some runners at the lower end of the odds spectrum.
All right, and the book we're talking about right now is a book that Peter wrote called The Winning Contest Player. All right, you can get that book, and you can get it. Where can you get that book? On Amazon, I'm assuming.
I do believe there are some copies on Amazon. If you want a signed one, I can get you a copy. I still have, unlike a lot of my other books, which are trending into out of print. Winning Contest Player, we still have copies of. If you want to reach out to me via Twitter at Looms Boldly, or potentially through my website, inthemoneypodcast.com, there is an author contact page, and there's a way you can buy the books right on there. We have about a box of those left, so not a ton, but I'd love to send them along. And like I said, there's no better compliment than when somebody does well in tournaments and then says, hey, your book helped me do that. It's very gratifying.
Okay, so in tournaments, one more thing on the mandatory races, is there an approach there, or you just need to pick? What if the on the mandatory races the horse you like is 4 to 5? Are you playing that horse?
That's a tough one, and it might depend on where in the tournament we are. The problem is, if you love the 4 to 5 and don't take it in a mandatory tournament, there will be a certain number of players who are going to have that, and that's points that you can't get back. I'd need to really love the horse. Generally speaking, for me in a mandatory, you want to pick the winner, and I'm not as worried about price. But if you're torn at all between the 4 to 5 and the clever 8 to 1 shot, take the clever 8 to 1 shot, because if that one wins and you don't have it, you're really going to be sucking wind relative to the competition.
Right. Okay. All right. And then also, where can they go to find the podcast for In the Money? Because I know you've got a few of them.
Oh yeah. Well, our website is one great resource, inthemoneypodcast.com. And then if you look for In the Money Podcast on iTunes or on Stitcher or Spotify or wherever you get your pods, you'll be able to find, there's a master feed that has all the shows, and then you can also search for the individual shows. So, if you just want the In the Money Players podcast, you can end up searching for that, as they're off here in the first race at Saratoga.
Yeah. All right. So our guest is Peter Thomas Fornatail, host of the In the Money podcast and founder of the In the Money Media Network. Also does great work covering USA racing in Great Britain, Ireland for Sky Sports Racing, and written many books. Okay. So Peter, we've got a mandatory payout today in the Pick Six over at Del Mar. And there's going to be, I'm guessing, what would you say, $8 to $12 million into this Pick Six pool, bet into this thing?
Yeah, that sounds absolutely right. I think it's going to be absolutely huge. It's a stakes-laden Pick Six sequence, and the races that aren't stakes are interesting and competitive. This is an opportunity to participate in some of the bigger scores that the game has to offer. And with the I'm not a big believer I don't like the jackpot Pick Sixes, but on the mandatory payout day, this is an opportunity to get involved and hopefully score out on some top-level racing at one of the great racetracks in America, Del Mar.
Now, is there an approach to this 20-cent denomination Pick Six? Like, what is the approach when there are favorites and stuff like that? Are you going to leave out favorites and go, you know what, I just want to go for the big money, or are you just trying to hit it and you're covering whoever you think is going to win? Is there a certain approach?
I think it depends on your wagering personality a little bit. It depends on the specifics of the sequence. But I think that the knee-jerk reaction that a lot of people have with the 20-cent denomination is to spread their faces off. And, contrarian that I am, I would prefer, I may have some tickets with backups that are spready in a 20-cent level. But if I have a favorite, I'm going to want to use that favorite, but I'm going to want to have it for 10 times the minimum. I'll want to have, create a $2 line or a $1 line or a $15 line that has the horses that I really like most in the sequence. Because I think, typically when everybody else is zigging, you want to try to zag. And one way you can do that is to actually, in a 20-cent sequence where everybody's looking to spread their faces off, to really try to tighten up and crush something. So when that's possible, insofar as it is possible, that's the approach I like to use in a sequence like this.
All right, so are you ready to hit up this Pick Six here today at Del Mar? You ready for that?
Let's do it, my friend. I'm absolutely psyched.
Okay, all right. So we covered this Pick Six yesterday on your show, so now we're going to cover it here. It starts in race number 6, and all right. So this is the Tory Pine Stakes, Grade 3, fillies 3 years old, a purse of $100,000. And there's a field of 7 horses in this race, but I've narrowed it down to 4 horses: Lady Mystify, the 1, Forest Caraway, the 4, I'm So Anna, and Private Mission. But Private Mission is 7 to 5 on the EquinEdge morning line, 9 to 5 on the odds makers morning line. Is this horse is second off the layoff? Went gate to wire last time out. Flavian Pratt, Bob Baffert. I don't know that this horse gets the lead here. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I feel like the horse is an obvious contender, and one that I certainly wouldn't argue with anybody who was selecting. But I didn't think had to win at a short number. I would, in my ideal world, I'm going to have on some tickets, but I want to have some other stuff as well, because I do think that there's a scenario where Private Mission and Lady Mystify hook up on the lead, and it sets it up for something to come from a little bit off the pace. So a use for me, but more of a backup use, would be the 7 Private Mission. I think Forest Caraway is a very, very interesting runner. It's a stretch out situation here, and I think the horse will be close, but I think has shown the ability to pass horses. This horse ran very fast in that comeback race. You can see on the strength of race there that was the strongest field that she'd run against, and I think that improvement might be real, and she might be able to continue to go on improving. And I also love, for a horse on the stretch out, that we see, she had the decent 67 genetic strength rating going 6 furlongs, but then at today's distance, that improves to a 74. So I think Forest Caraway is going to get an awesome trip. I think she's doing something that she's bred to do, and I think she should be a solid price. And this is the one that I'd want to go with those, bigger increments on. Maybe I'll have a couple of lines through to a runner like the 7. But Forest Caraway for me is a very interesting item who looks great on traditional handicapping, who looks good on the way that I see this race shaking out, and I also think looks very good on the EquinEdge software.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. As a matter of fact, believe it or not, I ran the simulated race and it had the horse on the lead going gate to wire. So the way I'm just learning this simulated race, even if this horse doesn't get the lead, then it tells me the horse will have even more horse just sitting behind the rest of these horses. I don't like that it's not in the top 2, Scotty, but I'm actually considering singling Forest Caraway. I agree with you. I think this horse is really live today, and I definitely have made this horse my top pick for sure. So who are you going to cover?
I actually am with you. I don't hate the idea of having backup lines running through the 1, 6, and 7. But, when I put pick bets together, one way I look at it is what percentage of my money is going to run through each horse. And I would want 50 to 60% of my money in this race going through Forest Caraway. So I've got to sit down and do the math on exactly what the ticket's going to look like. But, it might be, just to oversimplify it, there might be 40-cent lines or 60-cent lines on the 1, 6, and 7, and then a $2 line running through the 4 Forest Caraway in this spot. So it's almost like a lone A situation for those that do the ABC construction. But I try to do it in a little more of a sophisticated manner by really varying the amounts on each ticket and through each horse.
And how deep would you, when you're talking about maybe spreading, if you're going past the 4 horse, which horses are you using?
I like the same 3 that you mentioned. The okay. 1, 6, and 7 to me are very, very logical runners to try to get through this race with. I could tell you a story as well about Lisette. I could see maybe trying to get a small percentage, with Lisette, and then maybe only my strongest opinions in the others, just because I do think Lisette could be the one to benefit if it's a true pace meltdown in this spot. But that would be the extent of my spreading. And again, for me, it's a pretty strong opinion on Forest Caraway.
All right. Well, we're on the same page there in race number 6. All right, let's go to race number 7, which is the second leg of this pick 6. Again, we're talking to Peter Thomas Fornitail, host of the In the Money podcast, and we're going over the mandatory payout pick 6 today. Going to be $8 to $12 million in this pick 6. Going to be really a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of energy today too, Peter. You're not going to be here. I know you're in Saratoga. What's going on in Saratoga today?
Oh, it's the Alabama Grade 1 action. Malathot, the Oaks winner, making her return to the races. For some, she disappointed a little bit last time in the CCA Oaks, but I think that was more pace dynamics. I think today, getting a lead into the race, being able to be the hunter instead of the hunted, and the way she's bred, I think she's going to put on a show a little bit later here in the Alabama. And then, we'll have Del Mar on the simulcast screens, and the plan after the races is to head back to the house, get the grill going, and have Del Mar on the computer and take a swing at this pick 6.
Well, and I've seen some of your tweets as well. I mean, you're cooking some really good stuff there. I mean, where did you learn how to cook like this?
Well, the barbecue stuff is just something I more or less taught myself through books and YouTube videos. I got as a Father's Day gift about, 8 or 10 years ago. My wife got me one of those, they're not a sponsor, so we won't plug them specifically, but let's just call it a fancy ceramic grill. And, trial and error, just messing around. Yeah. And one of the great things about Saratoga is you have so many, and Del Mar too, you just have so many like-minded individuals around. For me, there's nothing more fun than getting a big cooking project going, like the brisket we did overnight 2 nights ago, and then you have a bunch of friends and we're talking about the races and making bets, and it's just some amazing fellowship here at Saratoga. And I know it's the same deal at Del Mar too.
Well, you know what, you've written so many books already. Why not a cookbook?
I don't really have the profile to do it, but I may just try anyway. I've done a lot of co-writing in my life. If there's a barbecue chef out there, a pit boss who needs a little bit of help putting a project together, they know where to find me.
There we go. All right, let's head on to race number 2. Race number 7, which is the second leg of the Pick Six. Again, it's a 20-cent denomination here in the Pick Six. Mandatory payout, $8 to $12 million. Hit the Road is an interesting horse here. Of course, this horse has won 6 races and 9 at the surface and distance for Dan Blacker. Threw in a clunker there in the Maker's Mile. I don't know what happened in there. Did you see that race?
I did. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what went on, but it obviously wasn't representative of this horse's form. I think it was a little bit of an inefficient run through. It was a little too far back, and then middle moved, and the pace was fast. I mean, that would be my theory. It was also a much stronger race than what Hit the Road is facing today, in my opinion. I think he's absolutely got a chance to bounce back, and I'd like to see him get more of an even run through. I think making that middle move the last day took some of the sting out of Hit the Road's finish.
All right, so let's talk about who's most likely going to be your favorite. Now, it could be Mo Forza. I don't know. 8 to 5 on the EquinEdge morning line is Smooth Like Straight, the 3 horse from Mike McCarthy, Umberto Rispoli. And I've got a note on here. This horse has lost 4 of the last 7 races as the favorite. When it does win, it doesn't win by much. When it loses, it doesn't lose by much. How do you play a race like this, and what do you do with the 3 horse? You have to just include it, or could this be a single?
I'm a huge fan of Smooth Like Straight. Been a huge fan of this horse for a long time. I think he's in a tough situation today. And believe me, if he ends up kicking sand in my face, I'll be extremely happy for this horse and his connections, of whom I'm a huge fan. But I think Smooth Like Straight's in a tricky situation where I think Neptune Storm is going to keep him very busy on the lead. And Mo Forza, EquinEdge has profoundly influenced the way I look at races. And this is a rare opportunity where, to me, Mo Forza, who does not look strong for me on the EquinEdge software, just the way I see this race playing out with Neptune Storm being Mo Forza's stablemate, I think he's just going to go hell-bent for leather down from the rail. I think Smooth Like Straight has got to keep an eye on him. And I think it's going to set it up for a late run from either Hit the Road or Mo Forza. I'm going to try to get out of this race, pressing through the 6 and then including the 2. And I might even have one tiny line if Neptune Storm just gets loose and forgets to stop. I could see having him for a penny. But I'm actually playing against my old friend Smooth Like Straight in the spot. But he's a very cool horse, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if I'm dead wrong to oppose him.
All right, so Peter is not going to be at the NHC this year. Peter is going to stay over in Saratoga there. And there's some big races coming up. You got the Travers, right? What else is coming up down over at Saratoga?
Oh, it's going to be a huge weekend of racing. One race we're really looking forward to next weekend is the H. Allen Jerkins, which right now looks like it might be a clash between the super impressive Jackie's Warrior and also Life is Good, who was atop all those Derby lists before he experienced that setback back in the spring. It's a mini Breeders' Cup card really here on Travers Day. I have a house up here, so many friends in town. We have our tradition of renting out a room here in the Paddock Bar, and I especially after not being here last year, there was just no way I was going to miss it. But it does sound like I'll be participating in the coverage of the NHC with Steve Bick. Steve will be there live in the ballroom at Bally's. I'll hopefully be patching in via phone with him for part of the time. And, I'll be watching everything that's going on out there. and very happy that we'll be having an opportunity to get back to Vegas in just whatever it is, 5 months' time for next year's NHC. It is one of my favorite events of the year. It's the coolest horse player party of the year. Thrilled to see EquinEdge getting involved on the sponsorship side at the NHC. It's a truly fabulous event. I will not be there physically, but I will be there virtually and in spirit.
I know you will. All right. In this race here, Mo Forza has been off a layoff. Okay. We have not seen this horse since October. Can this horse be ready? And Peter Miller's pretty good off the layoff. I mean, can this horse be ready to win first time out off of this layoff from October?
I feel like in other hands, I would maybe have my questions. But there's two things that make me feel pretty good about Mo Forza's chances. One is Peter Miller and how we know he has this club in his bag of bringing them back fully formed. And I'm less worried about a layoff horse that's going to be coming from off the pace with a setup than if this was a horse who was a pure speedball who needed to be out there every yard of the journey. So, there's I like this. I like Michael's comment about smashing the like button. Am I allowed to like a show? Am I allowed to like a show that I'm in? I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do that.
I don't know if you're able to do it or not. I wish I had that ability to do it from here. I don't see the ability to do that.
Here's my wise guy move. I'm going to look it up on my phone. So it'll be very meta. I'll be watching us, and I'll hit the like button there. So we'll get it going that way. But
what are we settling in on this race?
I think it's gonna. I mean, I like it 6-2, and mostly the 6. I just think Mo Forza and Hit the Road are going to get great setups. Neptune Storm, again, being the stablemate of Mo Forza, there's going to be one plan for that horse. He's going to dead send, and I think it's going to make it very hard on Smooth Like Straight and set something up for a runner like number 2 Hit the Road or number 6 Mo Forza. The Mo Forza's figures are traditional handicapping. It's just one of these things where he doesn't look great on the software for whatever reason, but he looks very good in my traditional handicapping, and this is a spot where I'm going to defer to what I'm seeing old school, as much as I have incorporated EquinEdge in all facets of my handicapping. Sometimes you just got to first thought, best thought, and for me, my first thought looking at this race is Mo Forza is going to be very, very tough.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Smooth Like Straight and is going to figure out a way to get this win. By the way, too, Flavian Pratt does get off of Neptune Storm, the one horse, after winning that last race. Juan Hernandez jumps aboard. Both these horses are for Peter Miller, both Mo Forza and Neptune Storm. So obviously there it looks like Flavian Pratt is liking Mo Forza over Neptune Storm. So the Scotty Longshot, maybe that's a horse you just put in the underneath spots but not in the horizontals. Let's go on to race number 8, which is the third leg of the Pick Six. Again, going to be $8 to $12 million in this Pick Six pool and the Rainbow Pick Six. And we're going to go on to race number 8. And there it is. Now, this is an allowance optional claiming for $40,000. Non-winners are 1, Peter, 3-year-olds and up. Purse of $72,000. Great purses, by the way, here at Del Mar. Have you been noticing these purses and how good in the ship and win program that Del Mar's created, how good it's been?
It's been fantastically successful. And one of the things we love about Saratoga is how it brings horses together from all areas of the country. Now, that's been hard for Southern California to do generally, but because of the creative condition book and these bonuses, Del Mar has created that same sort of thing. They run the risk of being an island out there, but because of the way they wrote their book and the way they're distributing their money, they've had a fantastic meet, and it makes it so much fun to follow.
It has been. I mean, these pools are incredible. The fields have been unbelievably competitive, and it's created for some really big payouts. Did you see on Thursday the early pick 5 and what that paid in the pick 4?
What was the final number? I saw there were some prices in there, but I didn't see what it paid.
Well, I think the pick 5 was wasn't it like $160,000 or something like that for 50 cents? I think it was something like that, maybe even big. I heard $360,000, but it was something enormous because there was a horse that won the race, the 3 horse, and went off at 60 to 1, paid like $120. It was pretty incredible. And we had run the simulated race, and the simulated race had actually had that horse winning, but I didn't believe it.
You got to trust your own tool sometimes.
You got to trust your own tool. Yeah, $170K is what John's saying it paid. But yeah, it's did not have that horse on my ticket. All right, we've got race number 8 here. What do you think here? We got a price play in the 5 horse, 20 to 1 the EquinEdge morning line, but Dream Shake. This horse, Peter and Flavian Pratt. This horse is probably the horse to beat, I would think, don't you? We talked about this horse on your show.
I like him a lot. I think Dream Shake makes a ton of sense. This is another case where the genetic strength rating really helped me to land on this one. Horse makes sense anyway, but then you go back and you look at that last race, and the question is, did he just not like turf, or was he somehow going off form? And you can see, looking at the GSR, and how much lower it was in the last race for the two on turf. I just think he can't really stand up on the turf. It happens. There are horses like that. Adding to his appeal, I felt like he was on the wrong part of the racetrack 2 times back at Belmont. So what we have in Dream Shake is a horse who they've always thought much of, has always flashed a ton of talent, and comes here with very dirtied up form, and I think is an excellent horse to key around in your pick 6. Definitely, I'm going to want a little bit of other coverage. Positivity is a horse that I think makes a lot of sense to use. Looked very strong off the break, like a new horse. If that improvement's real from the last run, I think that Positivity can continue to improve and be one that I want on some tickets. But I think you and I both are going to have most of our money rolling right through Dream Shake, and not just because we're such big fans of Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, and by the way, blinkers were added to the 2 horse. Was very keen in the last race. Blinkers off first time here, actually, and so sits behind a wall of speed here. That's my notes, anyways. I'm trying to remember the race here. Equipment changes, they don't usually bother me with lightly raced horses. How do you feel about that? Like, this horse only has 6 races, so taking blinkers off for the first time doesn't bother me. But when you see an equipment change with a horse maybe has bad form and it's had 20, 25 races, how do you feel about that?
Coming from a barn that I trust, as I do the Peter Urton barn, I don't really think of it as a positive or a negative. I see it. I think the horse is going to run his race, and I will sometimes delve into the stats and see. But a lot of times with stats like blinkers off, you can get into some small sample size situations. I think it's also just possible whatever he's seen in the mornings from Dream Shake. Maybe he needed those blinkers for focus at some point. Maybe as he's a maturing 3-year-old in the summer, he doesn't need them as much. So for me, in this instance, it's a neutral. I wouldn't call it a positive, but it's certainly not a negative either.
No, that's a really good point. And we talked about this on your show. The GSR on Dream Shake dropped from 70 to 60, and the horse still only lost by 2.5 lengths going on the turf. Obviously didn't like it that much first time, and now goes back up to a 70, has a 32% win. There's some speed in here. I'm going to trust in Flavian. I'm thinking about singling this horse. If you're spreading out, who are the horses you're going to use?
I mean, definitely the 7 would be on some tickets. And then, if I have a lot of strong A's in another leg, I'm at a point where sometimes I'll just defer to the software, and I'll see risk and reward as the Scotty algorithm second pick, and
right
there as the long shot, and maybe try to work in a few combinations where I throw runners like that in. On my main handicapping, though, I'm definitely going to have plenty of Dream Shake, and I'm definitely going to have plenty of Positivity.
All right, so 2 and 7, and maybe adding the 1 risk and reward, who's 29%, has a 72 GSR, which is a second to the 3 horse established. All right, let's go on to race number 9, which is the 3rd leg of the pick 6, 4th leg, excuse me, right? 4th leg, race number 9. This is the Del Mar Oaks, 300,000. Filly's 3 years old, and it's a grade 1 race. Going Global is going to be your big favorite. Absolute distance is perfect. 2 for 2 at the distance, Peter. I absolutely love this horse for Phil D'Amato, and she's the real deal. I think she's going to win this race going away. Second off the layoff as well.
She makes all the sense in the world, and I'm going to have a ton of Going Global, and probably more money running through Going Global than the one that's my technical top pick from a value standpoint, and that's the 2 Havanika. I just think that there is some scenario where, with so little pace signed on in this race, that under Drayden Van Dyke, now I know he's not known as really a send rider, but I'm hoping he gets a bit of a bee in his bonnet, gets a little bit motivated to use aggressive tactics on this filly. I think if he dead sends, she might be able to hang around for quite a while in the spot, just as a function of the pace. But make no mistake, Going Global will be all over my tickets as well. This was a spot I was hoping I could get out 2-3, and I will definitely be pressing the 3 because she's obviously going to be a fraction of the price of this Havanika. But I did want to give a little shout to that potential long shot as well.
Yeah, and Handicapping, I mean, if you look at the GSR, I mean, look at this 80s and 70s. I mean, this is a really, really well-bred filly for Godolphin Stables. So Drayden Van Dyke, Ian Hardy, and this one went gate to wire last time out. It was against a little bit easier of a group, but sometimes horses can get confidence. This horse can rate, and 10-1 on the morning line right now. The 2-horse Savonica. Going Global is the horse to beat. I think the 4-horse is going to be finishing Madone. We talked about this horse, but that was a little bit easier group last time out, and there was a lot of pace up front for Madone. Have you looked at this horse very carefully? Do you have any strong opinion on this Simon Callahan training?
A big run from Madone would be absolutely no surprise, but I think she goes from an ideal situation in the San Clemente, as you point out, against a little bit weaker and a race run ideally to suit her closing style, and now shows up in a spot where I just don't see the pace to really set it up for her. So she's going to have to do something different and be out of her comfort zone, maybe even on or near the lead. I don't hate the idea if you have the budget and you can sneak in some 4s on a backup line with your strongest opinions elsewhere. But if I have to, split the hairs and crack the nuts, which we often have to do in our ticket construction, I'm willing to go to war in this spot with the 3 and the 2 and take a little bit of a stand against the 4.
All right, so we've got this. We had a little bit of an error there. Hopefully the internet's back up. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound good. I must have been breaking up for a second, but basically
you broke up for a second, but you're back. All right, so how do we judge here in Southern California? How do we judge the 7-horse Fluffy Socks for Chad Brown? Chad Brown, of course, is Chad Brown. This horse has been losing in Grade 3 races, but Chad Brown still feels like this horse deserves to be here in this Grade 1 Del Mar Oaks. What do you make of that?
He's a tough guy to stand against based on his record shipping horses, but I wasn't overly impressed with Fluffy Socks in the Lake George. I thought that was also a race that was run to suit. She was a very big price. I mean, Chad Brown wins so many races. The idea of looking up at the tote board after the race and seeing him win and pay $12 or $14, that would be a frustrating situation. But we always talk on the shows too about how well turf form does shipping west, typically, whether that's English and Irish horses coming to the East Coast or our East Coast horses going out to the West Coast. Another one, look, I'm not going to argue with somebody who wants to put some Fluffy Socks on the ticket, but I was willing to stand against from a race dynamics point of view.
Yeah, I'm with you. And lastly, we got this horse Closing Remarks. A few people on the show, they really like this Carla Gaines horse, but you got a horse here that's not even won a Grade 3 race, and I think that's going to be really tough to use this horse. What do you make of this 3-year-old filly, Closing Remarks?
Another one who I think might struggle to get a good trip, and I'm just not sure how she's going to class up with these. At the 6-1 of the morning line, I think Closing Remarks might be an underlay in this field.
Yeah, I think Fluffy Socks, because of the connections, Rosario and Chad Brown to Trish's question, is going to probably end up going off. I would say probably at 4-1, probably around there. I would say. What do you think, Peter? Is this horse going to get bet just because of connections?
We see that typically with the Chad Brown runners in Southern California. I thought the morning line guess was very good. The 4-1 sounds about right to me because on form, she's supposed to be a little longer than that. So I think that the 4-1 bakes in a little bit of Chad Brown fandom.
All right, let's head up to the race number 10, which is, of course, the $1 million TVG Pacific Classic. Grade 1, of course. These are 3 and up. They're going 10 furlongs here. And it looks like a wide open race to me. Dr. Post for Todd Fletcher, Joe Rosario. I mean, this one's coming in, but don't you feel like this one really has a lot to prove? I mean, this horse has won a couple of grade 3 races in the last 2 or 3. Didn't run good in the Metropolitan over at Belmont Park. What are we supposed to make of this horse who might go off as the favorite?
He's definitely tricky. I definitely am not overly enticed by him at a short price. I personally probably make him the 3rd most likely winner behind Royal Ship and Express Train. But I'll say this about Dr. Post. He shapes like a horse who's going to really enjoy this 1.25 mile distance today. And I think he could get a good trip in that Todd Fletcher style, grinding from just off the pace. And I'm not interested in counting him out. I definitely want some Dr. Post on my tickets. He's come along. He's definitely getting better, I think, as a 4-year-old. I don't want to lose to him, and I don't exactly know how they're going to bet. When you talk about him as the presumptive favorite, if we knew he was the favorite, I'd be a lot more okay betting against him. If he is more like the 4-1 of the morning line, this is a horse I'd want on side, just given the hands he's in and the talent he's shown in the past.
Well, and looks like there could be a lot of pace set up in this race. That's what I'm seeing anyways when I run the simulation, and it looks like Dr. Post could really get the good trip. And another horse that's going to be on the pace that seems to need to be near the pace is John Sheriff's Express Train. Juan Hernandez is aboard. This one won last time out to San Diego, and I think that might prove to be a really good race. Tripoli comes out of the San Diego as well, and I'm liking Tripoli a bit as well. We'll talk about Tripoli, but the problem I see with Express Train, and maybe needs to be too near up the pace, and there seems to be a lot of pace here. So I don't know. What are your thoughts here? Do you think that they can take this horse back and this horse can make a run, or the horse has to be too close to a fast pace?
Feels like he's done his best work bossing a slow pace like he did the last day in the San Diego, where I thought he had the absolute run of the race. The way I thought the track was playing that day was he wanted to be forward and outside, the exact trip that this horse got. Look, on figures and form, you're probably supposed to have him somewhere, at least with your strongest opinions, elsewhere in this pick six sequence. I can't see letting Express Train knock me out of this pick six. This is a horse who, given the hands he's in, I would expect him to be ready to fire a peak effort. But I think you make a great point about the uncertainty of, is he going to get the exact trip that he wants? I mean, they've tried closing with the horse, and they haven't quite been able to time the moves right. You see the races where he comes from farther back, they're not necessarily his best efforts. So he's a contender, but for me, he's a contender I want, again, a little bit more as a backup type horse, whereas I'm more interested in Dr. Post and Royal Ship. Royal Ship, for me, is the horse who had dynamics against him the last day and could do a lot better this time. You mentioned the idea of there being more pace to set up his late run. I also think he'll be able to secure more of an outside attacking position, which is what I think he wants. I don't think he particularly appreciated being more or less dueling inside the last day on what I don't think was the best part of the race.
Well, I thoroughly believe that Royal Ship is the horse to beat. I don't think the San Diego was set up for this horse, and they went a little bit slow up front, and this horse just couldn't get there. Was your favorite in the San Diego, and barely lost in the Gold Cup over at Santa Anita back in May. But I think Royal Ship's going to get the pace that it wants, going to sit back at a good trip. And this horse has been schooling in the paddock the last few days and just looks tremendous in the paddock for Richard Mandela, who also has Tis a Magician, who Flavian Pratt is aboard. You know, I'm not a big fan of Tis a Magician in this race. I just am not sure about this horse. I'm not sure it has the class. Going to be forwardly placed, but there are some fast horses in here. I'm just not believing this horse. What are your thoughts here on Tis a Magician?
I'm with you. He's a super cool horse. I'd love to own him, but this is a real class test, and this is a runner who I'm just not sure he's fast enough, has the right turn of foot or finishing ability to be able to hang with the best of these. For big Richard Mandela fans or Flavian Pratt fans, I'm not going to talk you off at the price he's likely to be, but he wouldn't. If I was posting tickets for this race, I wouldn't be having too many twos on there, and I think at the 5-1 of the morning line, this would be an underlay for me.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. All right, so what are you going to do in this race as far as your spreads? I mean, it seems like you like Royal Ship like I do as well on top, but Tripoli is an interesting horse as well, the one horse. So maybe the San Diego is going to be a key race. You know, a lot of these horses that race in the San Diego come back in the Pacific Classic and do very, very well. But are you going to spread in here, or what are your thoughts?
I'd like to get pretty narrow. I definitely want to have Royal Ship as a pressed up A. I think I'll probably have Dr. Post as more of a normal A, and I'll probably use Express Train as more of a B. And I think I'm going to try to live or die in this year's Pacific Classic with those three numbers. And, you know, I understand the logical case for the likes of Tripoli or even Tis a Magician, but you know, you gotta make decisions if you're going to make these bets efficient and affordable. And for me, those decisions are going to be to try to get this one 4, 3, 5, pretty much in that order to the hoop.
4, 3, and 5. All right, 4, 3, and 5. Okay, I got a question for you. So a lot of people, you're mentioning A's and B's, and and there's a history of this, and a lot of people on the show don't understand that, and you understand it very, very well. Can you explain what an A horse is and a B horse, and how you utilize those letters as well?
Sure. These are theories of betting developed. Barry Meadow was probably the first person I ever saw talk about writing tickets this way. Stephen Chris wrote the great book, Exotic Betting. The Meadow book is called Money Secrets at the Racetrack, and the Chris book would be Exotic Betting. If you're really interested in getting I'm not going to give you the full deep dive here. I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole. But the idea is that you're not just creating one, what we call caveman ticket with every horse weighted the same in every leg. Using the A's and B's gives you two different opportunities. You write a lot of different tickets so you can really vary your opinion, so you have more money in terms of denomination running through the horses that you like the best, your linchpins of the ticket, and then you also have more coverage when your strongest opinion wins. So, for example, if I can get in two of my stronger opinions in this race, if in this sequence, if Going Global and Royal Ship win, I might have some tickets that unlock all manner of backups where a horse that I didn't really love, like some of those runners we talked about in the early race where I sort of mentioned casually to throw in at the end. If you have your strongest presses in the sequence win, you sort of unlock various combinations to be able to hit it, even if a horse that you don't really like that much wins. So the idea is to be able to write tickets that accurately reflect your opinion of the race. It's like you take the thoughts out of your head and you translate them into the tickets. There's software to help with this. I'll give a plug to our friends over at DRF. There's a service called DRF Ticket Maker. There are ADWs that have this built in where you can just check a box of who your an A horse is a main horse, a B horse is a backup, quite simply. And then sometimes you have deep backups as well, but that's, again, going far down the rabbit hole. But with a program like Ticket Maker or some of the stuff you can get through the ADWs, you can do this very easily and automatically as the basis for your bets, and then you can manually tweak the amounts. Again, the goal always being to accurately reflect your opinion as much as possible. And folks, if you have questions about this, hit me up on Twitter @MoonsBoldly or via inthemoneypodcast.com. I'm happy to go deeper when we have a little bit more time.
All right, who are they all screaming for right now? Who's winning?
Doogie, who's that way out in the lead? The Deuce. The two horse gets the job done here in the second.
The two horse. All right, that's Xana Larab, who is 60% on our numbers to win. Top Scotty pick 4-5 on the EE morning line. Went off at 4-5 for Chad Brown and Javier Castellano.
Big day so far for Chad. Chad won the first two, Doogie. Was that the Triple Elvis that won the first? Oh no, Pletcher won the first. Okay, never. So
yeah, Pletcher with Luis Saez won the first one with Major General.
I love this feature, by the way, Scotty. This is a great way to learn to use EquinEdge. When the race is run, you go back and you see the chart up in the corner. So you can go and look at horses, not just the winners, but if you see price horses that run in, you can go back and you can look on EquinEdge and see if there were which indicators pointed in that direction. And it definitely helped me see how potent of a tool, especially the GSR and the SOR are. And it's just a great way to sort of play the races without even risking any money while you're getting to learn to use the tool.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a really good point, Peter. By the way, too, we've got race number 11 is the last one we're going to cover here. It's the $300,000 Del Mar Handicap. And it's a grade 2 race. I'm surprised it's not a grade 1 race, but it's a grade 2 race. And they're going 11 furlongs in this race. I talked about this on your show, but the top GSR horse is Master of Foxhounds for Richard Baltus, 14%. It's an 81 GSR, 1-for-1 to surface and distance. It does look like a competitive race because the top win percentage is only 18%. Both the one horse Media Blitz as well as United, the 4 horse, who might go off as your favorite, but it's probably favoritism is going to be Arklow, the 8 horse, who's got to come from way behind. It's a big field of horses. Going to have to get the trip. I don't know. What do you think of Arklow today?
I respect Arklow and United. These horses have been winning races for a long time. and competing at the top levels. But I think their form, I mean, this sounds more negative than I want to, but it's the same phrase I used on the other show, and it just comes to mind. They've got the form is kind of tired, and I feel like this might be a situation, especially as narrow as we are in other parts of this ticket, where we can try to get alive to some big price horses. And if there's a way to have, as I've said before, some of the stronger opinions to be alive to the 4 and the 8, like that's great. They make a ton of sense. But I want to get a little goofy here, because I think Arklow, he's been known to, sometimes have a little bit of trouble, get too far back around these tighter racetracks. And United has become a little bit of an in and outer, at this point in his career. I don't really want to rely on him at a short price.
Well, I already have him. I want another one.
Yeah. Well, and United's more tactical though, so I do like that. I don't think they haven't set the rail yet, so I don't know what that's at. But I do think that United's going to sit a good trip. Master of Foxhounds is somewhat tactical as well, coming in from Belmont. And got a 4th place finish in Manhattan over there, but had some trouble. Steady, went off at 38-1, wasn't really played. But Kansas Normal jumps aboard here for Richard Baltus, who's one of the best turf trainers that we have. Can you see this horse at all like me? I mean, I might make this horse my top pick. I really see this horse coming into a good race, especially off this layoff. And I know the horse is training really good.
This is the kind of horse that in a race like this, where I'm looking to beat favorites, I'll kind of defer to the software. To be honest, in traditional handicapping, I don't have a whole lot on this horse other than the fact that I talked before about the turf form shipping west, and this one has been knocking heads in grade 1s on the East Coast. So I'm willing to use this horse basically for how strong I think that he looks on the software. I don't mind the idea at all of having the 5 in the mix.
All right, and then we got Acclimate too, who's 10-1 on the morning line, 30-1 on the EquinEdge morning line. Most likely going to be your front runner, but I mean, this one won a grade 3 last time out. Barely lost in the Charles Whittingham, by just a little bit, and that's a grade 2 race going 10 furlongs. This one seems a little bit dead. I don't know, getting a little bit old and long in the tooth. I don't know. What do you think of Acclimate today?
I think he's a super cool horse. I don't want to knock him as an individual, but I thought it was going to be tough. That's such a different game, going the mile and 3/4. I don't think he's going to be loose here. I think a Ward winner has a chance to be out there ahead of him or at least with him. And I just think you've got a chance for another runner to step up or one of the proven form horses to run their race. I don't see him here today as much as I think he's a cool horse and respected trainer.
All right, we got a horse, Media Blitz, here in this race, the 1 horse. This horse is 18% on the it's equally with United, the top win percentage at 18%. Simon Callahan puts this horse and enters this horse in this race. Now, it's not the strongest of grade 2 fields. It's looking like the more we're looking at this. This horse won an optional claiming 62.5 last time out. But it's lightly raced. It's been in the money in first or second in 6 to the 8 races. Do you ever look at horses like this, lightly raced horses that maybe are coming on? Maybe this horse is very well bred. Do you give this horse a look at all?
This is another one that EquinEdge put me on to, and I'm going to have on tickets because of that. I think that win percentage leaps off the page. I'm not sure. And the EE Morning Line algorithm also has some positive things in this direction. This is a horse who's going to be much larger than those kind of prices in this pick 6. If I'm willing to take most of my ticket and stand against the 4 and the 8, I don't want to have Media Blitz beat me. This is another one of the long shots I want to use as an A in this spot.
All right. Well, so lastly in this race, you're gonna spread in this race. If you're gonna spread, let's just say 5 horses. Who would those 5 horses be?
Well, the other one that we haven't talked about at all that I'm going to use, and this is again very flaky. There's not a real lot of handicapping, going into this. But I know that Masterpiece is a horse that's always been well thought of when he was in the Chad Brown barn. Mike McCarthy is a trainer that, if I'm on the fence about a runner and Mike McCarthy trains, I'm using the horse. Part of the reason why it pains me to be going against Smooth Like Straight today is the McCarthy connection. I think Masterpiece is worth a look as a goofy stranger who's going to be a very, very big price. So I like the Master of Foxhounds idea. I like the Media Blitz idea. I like the Masterpiece idea. And then in terms of backup lines, master of the obvious. I'm going to have some 4s and 8s with my strongest opinions elsewhere, but I'm really going to be looking for one of those long shots, the 5, 1, or the 6, using a combination of old school human handicapping and the EquinEdge software to blow this thing out of the water and get us paid in this Pack Classic Day Pick season.
All right. So, one more time, let everybody know how they can get a hold of you and watch some of your podcasts and also your Twitter handle as well.
Absolutely. On Twitter, you find me at Loons Boldly, always up for talking racing, talking EquinEdge, whatever it happens to be. Podcast-wise, we have a website, inthemoneypodcast.com. You can see all the shows there. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, In the Money Media. You can find us over there. And then wherever you get your podcasts, In the Money Media, In the Money Players Podcast, either of those things should find it. There's a feed on iTunes that has all the shows on the network. If you just want to start with one show, I'd recommend our flagship show, the In the Money Players Podcast. Scotty comes on weekly talking about racing all over the country. It's been really fun working with you, my friend, on these shows, and I'm loving getting involved in the tool, and I'm excited to hear that it's going to continue to develop and become a great resource for horse players along the way.
Well, you've been a big help in that as well, and thank you to you and your team as well, Peter. I've enjoyed being on, and really appreciate you coming on today too, and I hope you have a really successful trip back there at Saratoga. We're going to miss you at the NHC, but maybe we'll definitely talk about the NHC a little bit, maybe Monday, right? Did you hear me, Peter?
I got you, and I appreciate those kind words. We'll miss you at the NHC, but maybe we'll yap before then for our NHC pregame show. We're hopefully going to drop a podcast folks can listen to on the way out there. As a guy with a tool that's going to help a lot of players at the NHC playing for $1 million bonus because of your Pegasus win, you're on my short list. So, no good deed goes unpunished. I'll be bothering you again soon.
All right, my man. Sounds good. Stay safe out there and have a good time and win some money, okay?
Cheers to you and cheers to everybody out there for listening. Keep playing around with the software, joining on this channel, and feel free to check us out over at inthemoneypodcast.com.
All right, Peter Cornertail from over there at Saratoga in New York. And thanks, Peter, for coming on. All right. Well, that was good having Peter aboard. Thank you, Peter. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that and had a few technical issues, but that was good. And, Peter it gets a little bit noisy over there, but yeah, thanks to Peter for coming on, and very, very talented guy too. Of course, worked with DRF forever. And that was really good. That was really good. Trying to get used to using this system and having people on, but I think it went mostly good, right? It was good. You guys could hear it good. Yeah. All right. That was nice to have Peter on. Peter's been doing this a long, long time, and his podcast is one of the biggest podcasts in horse racing as well. So I think they have I don't know how many of them, but a lot of them, and very talented people that are doing the podcast. And Peter's the one that created all that. So, all right, where are we at now? We've got, we've handicapped Delmar, and we've pretty much done. So what do we got? 11 o'clock. I've got to be on set and simulcast at 1 o'clock. So I've got some time with you guys. We can run pretty much whatever you guys want to run. No, he's always got his hat. Yeah, thank you, John. Race number 2 over at Delmar. All right. Well, when we first, so we did a screen share with him and his team, introducing them to EquinEdge, and pretty much to a person. They were like, oh, we're old school. We use the forum, all that stuff. And that's completely changed. And they're using it now. They're starting to realize the benefits of EquinEdge. So that's been pretty neat to see how they're transforming their way of handicapping and changing. So yeah, and that's what EquinEdge, if you give it a chance, that's what EquinEdge will do for you. Yeah. So yeah, we'll do that. He wasn't really constructing a ticket. He just was. We're just kind of like an overview of some of the horses that he likes, you know. But yeah, we'll cover it. Yeah, that was good to have Peter on. I mean, he's just an articulate guy, very talented. I mean, check out his books. They're no joke, you know, especially the winning contest player. There's Gary, my man, Gary. We've missed you. How are you doing? You're on the mend? You feeling good? So we've been thinking about you a lot. We've missed you. It's good to hear from you as well, Gary.
Good morning, Nancy. I brought my fascinator.
Yeah, it's good stuff. That was great. Thank you to Peter. Feeling much better. Oh, Gary, we've been praying for you, and it's so nice to see you aboard. It's not the same. Not the same without you. All right, so Bill is saying the ticket generator is 3 for 3 winning exactas at Gulfstream and hit at Ellis Park. Wow. Well, let's see that. Race number 1, the 1 horse won. And the Scotty Longshot got 3rd, actually. But the exacta paid $8.40 to the 111. In race number 2, 5 horse over the 3 horse. So that was cold. Chalk, but cold. Yeesh. $2.90. And trifecta box there, top 3 horses, that paid $46.95 for 50 cents. So that's a good hit right there. And the 1 horse was 31%, won that race over the Scotty Longshot. So, and a nice exacta as well, $22. And the Scotty, you know, what I've noticed is whenever you see a Scotty Longshot and it's also the top GSR, it's money. Yeah, it happens a lot. Yeah, it does. Del Mar race number 1, the simulator. All right, you guys have a 1-track mind. I better get this thing out to you. You guys you're not gonna leave me alone. I don't blame you. Yeah, we'll look at that. We'll go to the 3rd. Okay, we'll go to Saratoga in a second here. Let's look at the. Let me run real quickly the simulator, okay? For race number 1 at Del Mar. So these are a bunch of first-time starters, and so look, it's been deadly with meaning in a good way. It's been really, really good. I don't know what to think about it because there's some really nice horses that are being touted here, and the system is not liking it. The system clearly has the 3 winning over the 2, and it's a long way back to the next closest horse. So remember, this is just one tool. So when we look at Del Mar's race number 1, so I can't stress that enough. Okay, it's just one tool of many tools. You need to look at the other things as well. Okay, really important. I can't stress that enough because I don't want to throw people off. Now, EquinEdge morning line is 8 to 5 on the 3. 31% top win percentage. It's the top GSR and it's the top Scotty pick. And the simulation race has the 3 winning. There's a lot pointing towards the 3. Then the 2 horse ain't easy. This horse is getting bet some, actually. First-time starter for Phil D'Amato and Joe Rosario. It's got the 2 horse coming in second. Okay, so I can only give you the information as I'm seeing it. But although it's not getting bet, here the 7 horse can run, the 5 horse can run. The 6 horse, I know that Abel Cedillo decided to get on this horse. How I think he was training another horse here earlier or in the mornings, and or getting on a horse, and chose the 6 horse, who's one of 2 Baffert horses. Mirasol is the other one, who's run one time. I watched the backtrack of this horse. It had the rail. It did have a good trip. It didn't seem to really enjoy the rail, but it was still trying very hard. Mike Smith is aboard. You know, Mike's not riding that great right now, in my opinion. Nothing against Mike. So, all right. So that's what it has. Oh, thank you so much, Jeff. I really appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to run the simulator for race number 3 at Saratoga. It's a 4-horse field. The 5-horse Pacific Gale was scratched out of this field, and we've got a 59% horse who's not even the favorite in Robin Sparkles, the 1 horse. Top Scotty picked 3 to 5 on the EE morning line, and currently at 7 to 5, has a good GSR. Average SOR is huge, 78 in comparison to the 2-horse Lead Guitar and the 3-horse Hydra, who both have 62s. Okay, I'm going to run the mock race for Saratoga race number 3, which is coming up in about 14 minutes from now. It's got the 1 and the 3 in the lead, and then the 2 just finishing really strong. But the 1 hanging on over the 3, but the 2 is really finishing strong. All right, so let's take a look now. So the 2 has won 4 straight races, Lead Guitar, for George Weaver. And doing well. This is a tougher field, but the horse is coming off a layoff and now cuts back to 5 furlongs, but the GSR is a 75. The horse likes 5.5 furlong, so that's not going to be a problem. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So again, it had the 1 and the 3 in the lead, and then the 2 finishing best, and the 4 just was kind of hovering there. It wasn't really doing much. So I would personally, after what I just saw, lean against the 4-horse. Scotty long shot over at Gulfstream Park. I'm going to run that real quickly. So it's got the 9, 4, 8 getting the lead, and the 12's pretty fast as well, but wide. It has the 9 winning the race and the 4 coming in second. 9, 4, 8 over at Gulfstream Park. Oh, and those are the top 2 Scotty as well. GSR on the 4-horse is very good. Second time starter on the turf. On the dirt, 5.5. Been off since April, but yeah, it said 9, 4, 8. So there's 3 ways of looking at SOR. Okay, you can look at SOR from here on the handy view, which is our past performances right here. Right, that's one way of looking at it. And then you can look at the current race SOR, right? So you can compare that and go, okay, that was a 50 SOR, which stands for strength of race. Obviously, it's important to know who your competition is, and that's why this SOR is so very important. And so it looks like it's a little bit easier field than what the horse was facing back in April. You can look at it also from the perspective of the average SOR right here. And this is taking all the last 5 races of a horse, or if horse is raced once or twice, It's taking that and averaging it and showing you the average of the strength of fields that a horse is facing. This SOR on the GSR line, which you don't see one for this race here, is, we'll go to race number 5 and that'll show it. And you can see here, you can sort it. And it shows you that this zero gravity in the last 5 races, it's not taking the 9, it's taking the last 5, because I want current form, has got a 62. So facing tough competition, has 1 win, 2 seconds, and 2/3 and 9 tries. Has a 63 GSR as well. So you're getting both the strength of race and the GSR for the current surface and distance, which I think is very, very important. Okay. The issue with this zero gravity is that it's drawing the 12 hole going 8 furlongs, and you can see what the starting point is, right? That's a really tough place to be, and the horse really isn't that fast. So it's the type of horse I'd play against. Okay. Bombs away. What happened at Gulfstream? Oriental Park. Is that who won? Looks like the 2. Two one, huh? Oof. Low GSR. Lowest, I think that's the lowest. Yeah, you don't see that very often. A first-time starter. So that race just absolutely fell apart. I almost never, ever see that. Now, you know, when you will see that sometimes, you'll see it in shorter sprint races. You will see that. 218. Wow. Bombs everywhere. Okay. So Del Mar, race number 2. My internet is so slow here right now. So scratch is starting to come in. Mr. Dougie Fresh is going to be scratched. Next, Shares is going to be scratched out of the Del Mar Mile. It had the 2? Really? I don't know how it comes up with that stuff, but it does. So when you see these flames mean that in the last 16 races, the win percentages are hitting at over 37%. So if you go to the dashboard over here, you'll see hot tracks. And it's saying that at Saratoga, in the last 16 races, the Scotty top pick is winning 44% of the time. And the win percentage is at Gulfstream Park, 38%, and so on. You can see Arlington Park, 56%. And shows the minutes to post. Shows the upcoming pick 4, pick 5, and pick 6s. You can see carryovers here. Gulfstream Park, the jackpot starts in race number 7. You can click on it and it'll take you straight to it. Okay. I've got an old note here. Face 2 tough competition. You can see that. Look, this is what's so cool about the program. You can see faced a 72 group and didn't run a lick. Then goes and drops down to a 60 group and was bumped at the start, had some trouble, ran a little bit better, and then drops to a 58 group and wins the race holding on barely. Now jumps back up to a 62 group. And okay. So But that starts the pick six over there at Coldstream Park. What's up, DeAndre? I don't know that I agree with that, Cindy. I mean, like when you look at Del Mar here, like in race number 8 yesterday, it had top Scotty pick was the 10, the GSR was 67, the top win percentage was the 10, and the horse won for fun. The simulated race had the 10 winning for fun as well. Saratoga race number 3. Now the one horse is getting bet. The system has this 1 and the 3 going to the lead. But here's the thing about the 3 can rate some. So the way I interpret it, wow, this horse was 30 to 1 on the morning line? Is that for real? 12 to 1 on our morning line. The horse is 10 to 1. That's interesting. Big raising class. Big raising class. That's what it is. Man, the simulator had this horse running really good. I still got to believe that the 1 horse is going to go gate to wire. 3 could run a good race. The 2 is really closing. I would, I don't know if there's a trifecta in here, but I would probably do like a 1, 2, 3 trifecta. You get the 10 to 1 in third instead of the 4 to 1. It would still pay good, but it's probably going to be cold 1, 2, I would think. I know the simulator has this 3 horse running good, but it's just not very classy. That'd be interesting. I'm trying to figure out how to navigate through some of the, the system. It's the simulation race. It's, it's taking me a while to incorporate that into my handicapping. Three minutes before the race. I'm definitely interested in watching the race, though. Three and 5. Okay, we'll go over that, Spencer. We'll do that. Yeah. So this is a smart and fancy stakes here at Saratoga, 120K in purse money, non-graded stakes races from mares 4 and up. And Robin Sparkles, to me, with the class and everything kind of pointing in that direction. The 3 is interesting based on the simulated race. Normally it wouldn't be a horse I would like. But yeah, we'll look at that, Spencer. We'll look at after this race here at Saratoga. They're on the turf course now. Only a small field of 4. The 5's been scratched. We'll look at the 3rd race from Del Mar, okay? So I went to get my coffee this morning, and I had a latte, and they had no caffeinated beans. So I am on literally no caffeine today already.
Thank you.
Sure good to have you back, Gary. I'm glad you're doing well. So if I'm yawning a lot, I apologize. Robin Sparkles. All right. About to take off. Race number 3 from Saratoga. Oh, that helps the 1 horse tremendously. The 3 horse broke in the air. You want to put a note in that. I mean, there's just, I'm not even going to say it. One's going to be very tough. I'll tell you that. My picks have been doing great. I've been doing fantastic with my picks. All meet long, really. I haven't, Dan. Look at the 1. What a disappointing effort. No excuses. And the 4 is going to win. Piedi Bianchi. I would have lost my ass in that race. I'm shocked. What's up, Bobby? I am shocked. I'm playing in this tournament today, by the way, too. I mean, the horse had 0 excuses. Wow. Well, that was a disappointing effort from Robin Sparkles, wasn't it? Cindy staying alive. You like that? That's a good one. That beating that 1 horse is big. How are you doing, Mike? You doing good? Yeah, but I am playing in that tournament today. $5,000 entry, and I'm excited about it. I'm actually really excited about playing in it. I think the card has some possibilities. That GSR is just insane, isn't it? It really is. It really is. I mean, that was a huge effort from the 4. Huge. Yeah, it could be Mike. Indiana bred wins. Yeah, that race, I don't even know what the hell just happened there. I mean, this is a, that's 2 races in a row this horse just stopped after having a clear lead. That's not like this horse too. This horse has been very reliable, but now all of a sudden just stopping. So maybe just doesn't want this level. I think that's what it is. But the 4 horse hasn't been facing this level as well. So I don't know. This rating of this SOR can come down. The system adjusts based on how the race is run and who wins. So it will adjust. It might not be a 76. When you see this race in the past performances, next time these horses run, that number could be different. So it adjusts. I think it's going to adjust differently. 1330 exactor for a 4 horse field is pretty darn good. All right, let's go to race number 3 over at Del Mar. I'm going to run the simulated race real quickly. And I have an opinion in this race as well. So in race number 3, it's like a vertical line, literally. I really think this is going to be a jockey's race. And when that happens, it does have the 3 and the 8, okay? It has the 3 and the 8, like on the wire. I will say that. It shows the 3 slightly getting the lead and going gate to wire. But I do have a note in that last race, and that was against similar company, and it said a slow 49.5 and still lost the race. It's 6-1 in the morning line, but 9-5 on the EquinEdge morning line, and 37% and top Scotty pick and top GSR. So you cannot ignore this horse. 6-1 is, you will never get 6-1. So it's interesting, and you have to use the 3 no matter what. But if you play this in horizontals and people are seeing this 6-1, you could get a price. So if Laurent Giroux jumps aboard, but Juan Hernandez gets off of the 3 and the 4 horse to ride the 2 horse, One Fast Bro. I just have to believe he was taken off. I don't know why. One Fast Bro, after a 4.5-month layoff, comes over and wins in an easy 54 group. I did not see this horse as well, but came in and won the race easy. Is this a new horse? I don't know. I mean, the horse has been competing against the likes, but this is a 62 group going up 8 points, 5-2 on the morning line. The EE morning line's 5-1. Juan Hernandez stays on this horse or gets taken off. I don't know. Also gets off of Memo Daddy, and Umberto Rispoli jumps on. I think he was taken off both these horses. That's my guess. Mohawk King is the horse to beat. Now, I'm going to give you another one, though. Ottawa Fire, Flavian Pratt. So, faced 11 other horses last time out, had tons of traffic issues, first time in the country, and blinkers are added here. Makes sense. The horse was extremely green. You can see here on the 1 horse, blinkers added. Doesn't have a good GSR. 3-1 the morning line, 5-1 the EquinEdge morning line. Flavian Pratt is aboard for Phil Diamato. The horse broke 10th. It was a slow break. There was 11 other horses in the race. Did not have a good trip. Comes back at the same level, similar company, and this horse might have been best. Placed 5th, as a matter of fact, too. Anyways, I wouldn't leave the 1 out. That's what I'm telling you. The 2 horse, I don't know what to think of. Has a good GSR, 1-for-1 at the surface and distance, but been facing way easier horses, way easier. So I don't know what to think. Okay. So that's my thought on that race. But the 3 is the horse to beat. This horse needs the lead, the 5 horse. And when I ran the mock race, I didn't, and the system did not show the horse getting a clear lead. So it makes me not like the 5 horse. And I don't think the horse can rate. Not for its best anyways. I don't know. It rated here in second against a 58 group going a mile. I don't think you can leave the horse out. Mark Latt, Abel Cedillo's riding really good, but wasn't my favorite. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Thank you for that. All right. Sorry about that. Mohawk King. So I'll do this all over again. The 3 horse, top win percentage. EE morning line's 9-5 from a 6-1 morning line. Top GSR, top Scotty pick. But I have a negative note on the horse that it set a 49.5 pace here on the 17th of July and still lost the race against similar company. And this horse will probably be on the lead, but there's some other speed in here. The 5 is fast. And when I ran the simulated race, it had these horses pretty even. Then you have the 1 horse Ottawa Fire, who faced 11 other horses here, is only facing 8 horses in here. So that's a big difference. And I don't think that they set the rail yet. It's kind of weird. I don't know why we're not showing it. But Ottawa, this horse can run better today. And they're adding blinkers. I'm kind of, because there's no pace in here, I would not, in that post that the horse had last time out, I would not be surprised if Flavien Prat sent this horse to the lead. Would not be surprised. So definitely do not. But this horse's GSR is low, so there's pluses and minuses. So I'm probably not helping you in here other than to tell you you must use the 3 and you must use the 1. I'm probably going to – I don't like the 1's GSR, but this horse went 8 furlongs last time out and had plenty of horse to finish. So I don't know. GSR drops from 56 down to 51. I don't like that as well. But the horse was a little bit rank and green. The horse is faster than it looks. That I know. Okay. Race number 5.
Huh? We did water. She said it should be down about 10, 15. Single better.
I thought the 11 horse barbed wire was worth trying to beat. Flavien Prat, Richard Baltus from the outside. I ran the race and it didn't suggest that the horse would get an easy lead, if at all.
Yeah. I was too sure.
So, and it's not in the top 2, Scotty, as well. Does have a good win percentage, but I'm going to eliminate the 11. Also, the 2 horse, it's a price play. Throw out this race. This horse was actually bet in this last race, facing similar company, gets some extra distance. GSR is about the same. The horse did not have a good trip. I think Phil D'Amato could hit the exacta here. This is going to be your favorite, I'm guessing. 4-1 in the morning line, Phil D'Amato, Umberto Rispoli. And he probably doesn't have a lot to worry about with Flavien Prat here. I think that Prince Obama, the Irish bred, first time in the country, training really good. I think this horse wins the race. The simulated race also had this horse winning for fun. It rained a little bit. It was sprinkling, a little bit dewy and misty, but yeah, not too bad. And so I like the 6. And I thought the 2 horse deserved some consideration for the exotics, maybe 2nd and 3rd. Watch for that. But I'm going to definitely make the 6 my top pick for sure. Top Scotty pick as well. Let me run the simulator real quick. Race number 5. So the simulator's got the 6 horse winning easily. I was kind of surprised at that. Well, it did earlier, but now that there's scratches have happened in the race, it's completely changed. So that's something I have to talk to John about. So I can tell you before the scratches, it had the 6 winning by like 4 lengths. EquinEdge morning line 7-5. Top Scotty pick. I don't mean to confuse you guys, but it's showing wide open. Darn it. That was going to make my life that much easier. Huh. 1, 2, and 9 are right there on the simulated race. All right, so I'm thoroughly confused now. That's a drag. So I don't know what to think. Again, I'm testing this tool right now with you guys. It had the 10 horse right at the wire as well. Yep, and then Spencer's saying the 10 horse race 5 broke bad. Yeah. It had the 1 horse winning the simulated race in this one. Earlier today, before the scratches of 13 and 14, the also eligibles, it had the 6 winning easy. That's something I have to watch the race and see what happens, and I have to talk to John. But the simulated race completely changed. So subconscious, this one was right there, and this one might be on the lead, but it didn't have this horse clearing that easily, but it had the horse at the wire there. So yeah, and I still think the 11 horse is going to be compromised from that post. I really do. Yeah, I'm going to cover race 4 right now, Bill. So jockey trainer combination on the 2 horse Forbidden Kingdom is 42%. Okay, so that's one note. First time starter, and I'm going to run the simulation right now. So it's got the 3 horse clearing really nicely, and then the 5 starts coming on, and the 3 goes gate to wire, it says. Who's the 3? The Met. Really? And then this first time starter. And there's no scratches. See, They had the mock race, had the 2 horse winning easily first time out, and then the 3 horse running second. Now it's just got the 3 horse winning easy. So I don't know if something changed. I'm going to ask John. All right, sorry about that. So, yeah, I don't know what to think about it, because what I ran this morning was totally different. So I'm going to rely on my handicapping this morning is what I'm going to rely on, okay? So the simulation had the 2 horse winning and the 3 horse coming in second, okay? So, and that matched up with my handicapping. I thought the 5 horse, the simulation had it for third, and I thought the 5 could run as well. And first time starter, Scotty Longshot 15-1, and they always do really well. So nobody scratched out of the 4th race that I know of. All right, so we're going to do an overview real quickly here, starting in race number 1. I got completely thrown off with the simulator, completely different than what I ran this morning. So I don't know. I just texted John to find out. Okay, race number 1. I'm going with the 3 horse for sure. Over the 2. Over the 5. Now, the 4 horse is a Scotty Longshot who's 30-1 Booze Runner. So I'm going a little bit differently than what that horse is, and then or what the system is saying. And also the Scotty second pick is a 6 horse Benedict Canyon for Bob Baffert, Abel Cedillo. You know, sometimes you just go with the system, you know, and if you do, you would just go 3, 6, 4, no doubt. I know the 5 can run. That we know. Does it need longer? I don't know. What kind of trip is it going to get? But all the metrics are lining up to the 3. I don't know who's going to be second and third. I'm probably going to go with the 2 horse and maybe the 5. But I definitely, you know, I see this other Baffert. You know, is it going to be a Baffert Exacta? 3-6 or 6-3? It could be. Top GSR is the 3 horse Mirasol. So I'm going to go 3. Yeah, I'm going to go 3, 2, 5. All right, next race. The 3 horse consistently loses ground in the stretch. It does. But it is dropping in class. It's also in for a tag for the first time for Bob Baffert. I mean, so I have mixed feelings about a horse that's just burned a crap load of money and doesn't seem to be doing well and goes in for a tag for the first time. The SOR goes from a 66 to a 60. So it is much cheaper, but he's probably hoping to get this horse claimed. You were thinking of singling the 4? Where? Which race, Cindy? In this race or in race 1? There's no way you're talking about this horse. You must be talking about this one. Race 1? He's 30-1. Booze Runner, Scotty Longshot, first time starter, good GSR. All right, so workout reports. The 6 was being held back with a lot of speed on tap when training with the 3. 6 may be live. So the 6 horse was better than the 3? Abel Cedillo on the dirt, Bob Baffert. It's always Bob Baffert's second horse that wins, isn't it? There's no way Booze Runner. I don't know. I couldn't. Singling Booze Runner? Yeah. This horse has been training at Arizona Downs yeah. I agree, John, with that, by the way. No, that's true, Bobby. That's true. All right. I got it. All I can say is this. The system is pointing towards the 3. I mean, all the EE morning line, the 31%, the Scotty pick, the top GSR. I just can't go away from that. So I'm not going to overthink it. Who's the Gun Runner first time starter? Is that the 4? Shit. Love Gun Runner first time starters. Oh, I need coffee. I'm going to have to let you guys go. I'm staying with 325. I put the 5 horses very honest. Rosario's aboard for Jonathan Wong. Broke last from the rail last time out. I mean, this is an extremely tough race. They are. These gun runner babies are runners. The 8 was scratched. All right, so I have to worry about that one. Tough races again. Oh my goodness. Wong's 43% in the last 10 days. All right. I mean, wide open race. GSR. I don't like the 2 that much. It's first time Glatt though, off a claim for $20,000. Abel Cedillo, who's crushing on the dirt. This is a big step up in class. Very nice workouts. Look at these last workouts, these 3 workouts since he claimed this horse. They're tremendous. But the horse has always worked out good, it looks like. So always been good in the morning. 5 wins in 26 tries, likes to win. Anything that happens in this race is not going to surprise me. I'm trying to find an angle right now. 62, rallied through traffic, had trouble there. Faced the 62 going 7 furlongs. I kind of want to like this horse because it faced really tough competition last time out. And the prior to that, barely lost. I mean, but this horse has burned a little bit of money. Juan Hernandez, Phil Diamato, second time here at Del Mar. Or no, it's first time here at Del Mar. I don't like that. These horses usually need a race over the track. Who's got a race over the track? This one. Major Cabbie. Maybe this is the one. Just by default, just on that alone. That's a thing. Buttered Noodles. They faced each other here. Major Cabbie was 3-1. This one wasn't bet. Manny Ortiz. I don't like the 6. You know what? There's something about this 3 I just don't like. I'm going to go 7-5. I'm going to say 7-5. I think the 5 is going to get it. The 7 and 5 are going to get it. The 5 is going to come from behind. The 7 is going to get a good trip. You know the 5 is going to close with Rosario. You know that's going to happen. And the horse had 2 wins before breaking 8th from the rail. So, and get 6.5 furlongs, which is only going to help this horse, I would think. So, but Major Cabbie, Peter Miller, big day today. Peter Miller's going to want to win. Flavian Pratt. I think the 3 horses vulnerable under Baffert. 7-5. 4. Okay. I don't like Red Valor. I don't like Red Valor Spencer at all. Okay already. All right, race number 3 here at Del Mar. I like 3-1. I'm going to say 315.
No. Oh, no, I don't know what that is. Okay. Oh, so somebody must have just walked out for that.
Yeah.
Race number 4. This Met horse. No, it's not mine. Thank you. 42% jockey trainer combination. The mock race had the 2-horse winning. 3 horse can run better, top GSR, and then 5. So I'm going to go 2, 3, 5 in race number 4. I'm going away from the 4-horse Kamui, a first-time starter who's working good, training good for Bob Baffert, Joel Rosario. Could be live, probably live. Let me run the simulated race real quickly. Not that I am trusting it right now. Race number 4. Yeah, it looks wide open. Oops. Okay, 4, 2, 3, 5 is what I'm going with. Knowing very well that the Rosario aboard this first-time starter for Bob Baffert could be tough. Okay. I'm going to go with the 6-horse here. I'm going to try to beat the 11. The 1 always tries. I don't like how this horse had an easy lead last time out and just stopped. That's twice this horse has done that. But the 9's going to be scary.
Old trick working here. Summons before.
It's a very interesting horse here, right? Tulsa Tornado. 35-1. First time going longer. 3's interesting. 10 horse. Awfully naughty. This horse really finished up nicely. Losing by 2 lengths. Steadied in between, this horse was betting this race. This horse is tactical, and Jose Valdivia is aboard. I think this horse might run a better race. I'm going to say 6-2. I'm going to say 6-2-1. Okay. 6-2-1. I love the 4. Forrest Caraway. So I'm going 4-7-6 in this race. Race number 7. I'm going to go with the 3. I think the 3 is just going to find a way to get the win. 6 wins in 9 tries for Hit the Road, who I respect a lot. Got up in the grade 1, won the grade 3 easy. It's a very I don't know what happened in that last race. That was a really tough field, and the horse didn't run. I don't, this 2 is live. I'm going to say 3-2-6. 3-2-6. Race number 8. I like the 2.
I know I got double booked, so that's fine.
I thought the 4-horse was interesting, Adair, the Scotty long shot. I thought the distance might be perfect, 7 furlongs. So I'm going to say 2, 4, and 1 is going to be in the 8th for me. Race number 9, easily the 3. The 4 is going to be coming, but I think it might be too late.
Let me do that. So I check in and get that out of the way.
I'm going 3, 8, 4. Although I respect Chad Brown and Joe Rosario. You know, Closing Remarks is a nice horse. The more I'm looking at this, if you look at this horse, the grade 3 Providencia, 9 furlongs, okay, lightly raced and still ran like this, right? Then broke 10th and clipped heels, went 6 wide and still only lost by a length and a half and was placed 2nd. This is the race throws me off a little bit, but that was on the dirt. Back on the turf, I'm going to say the 1. I'm going to change my mind on the 8. This horse just looks average to me. I'm going to say 3, 1, 4. Okay, race number 10, the big one of the day. And this will be easy for me as well. Pacific Classic.
Then I just need to do the cancellation of the other United fight. Okay.
I'm saying 4, 1, 3. I'm going to take the horses that are coming out of San Diego. Royal Ship and Tripoli. And I want to give a shout out to John Sadler, who won 3 races yesterday and also keeps Tiago Pereira aboard this horse. I think it's fantastic. It's a solid move. And then race number 11, the Del Mar Handicap Grade 2 race. I did have a hard time with this race. I'm going to go with the 5. Just going to stick with my gut. 5 over the 8 over the 4. 5, 8, 4 for me. All right, you guys. Hey, Satish, been a long time. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, exactly. All right, you guys. Well, hopefully you enjoyed. I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Peter Fornatale for joining me on the show. He was great as usual. Not a surprise. The consummate professional. And thank you guys for watching the show. Really appreciate it. We're going to be on the simulcast, me and John Lees, at 1 o'clock Pacific. So that's in about an hour from now. So don't want to miss that. And thank you, Spencer. I went with the in the last race, I went with the 5. I'm not going with the 1. Although if I'm spreading out, I'm using the 1 for sure. And but yeah, thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it. Everybody, Lee, Joe. Yeah, don't forget to like the show as well, okay? And I'm going to shave as well, Joe. I know exactly. So, been a little bit lazy of late. So, but these are the picks. You guys saw them. If you missed it, watch the simulcast show with me and John Lees at 1. Okay, Eric, thank you so much. Junior, Martine, really appreciate it, you guys. You guys are awesome. Always really appreciate the love you guys give us, okay? So I hope you guys kill it today. Have a wonderful Pacific Classic day. Don't forget, I'm in a tournament today, so you can follow that. Go to dmtc.com. Mandatory payoff in the pick 6. That starts in race number 6. And going to be $8 to $12 million in that pick 6 too as well, okay? So again, thank you, Peter, and thank you all of you. And we will see you tomorrow morning at 9:30 Pacific. Also today, 1 o'clock for the simulcast at Del Mar. We'll see you later.